You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
We have a special guest this half hour to help you get off the couch.
That's right. We're bringing in a motivational speaker because I think maybe like everybody needs a little motivation in the morning, especially on a Monday morning.
Yeah, former pro basketball player.
I like that. With some Michigan ties too, right?
That's true. Keep
All
you
right.
interested.
Close to my heart.
Yes. What a nice mild start out there, John Scalzi.
It is indeed. Certainly, the weather's got me motivated this week.
Yeah.
It's looking very nice indeed. The school bus forecast for you shows some pretty quiet conditions out there. Should be no problems at all for the pickup at the bus stops and the drop-off back home at the bus stops later in the day. Look for 66 degrees this morning, rain-free, mild, possible sprinkle in inland areas later in the day at 81 degrees. But I'll tell you what, there's sprinkle chances about 10%. And that's, again, in Hardee and DeSoto counties mostly. Temperatures, generally speaking, running into the 60s by 7 a.m. By 12 noon, we'll be up into the 70s solidly, and then about 83 degrees as we head home this evening. Again, a very warm temperature today. What's it look like for the week ahead? Talk about that in a sec. Back to you.
All right, Jonathan Deal, talk to you soon. Checking the roads right now. Little build up there on State Road 70 eastbound as you head toward the interstate. Otherwise, pretty clear so far today in Manatee County. The northern half of Sarasota County showing a little blip there on University Parkway eastbound at Honore. Be aware of that. And also our final map to the south will show us a little thing there, Osprey southbound on US 41.
All right, some good information for all of you rush hour commuters out there. All this week we are breaking down the top 5 worst intersections right here on the Suncoast.
In a special report, our Marla Spence shows us the hot spots and what you need to know to make your morning commute easier. She starts this week at University and Lockwood Ridge Road. Marla, good morning.
Yes, a busy Monday morning at this intersection of University Parkway and North Lockwood Ridge Road in Sarasota, and traffic is picking up at what's considered to be the busiest and most dangerous intersections on the Suncoast. Now, according to the Sarasota Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization, a group dedicated to working alongside the Florida Department of Transportation, they say the peak hours for morning traffic is from 7:30 to 8:30. Bumper-to-bumper traffic is usually around this time, and MPO's Executive Director David Hutchinson tells us peak hours doesn't always necessarily mean there's a higher risk for crashes.
If traffic is stopped and fully congested, then your actual crash severity is real low because you have fender benders, but you don't have high-speed crashes because there is no high speed.
So you drivers, when the roads are clear, that means there's a lower risk actually for severe crashes. Now coming up at 6:30, we're going to be telling you about some simple practices that drivers know, but believe it or not, they oftentimes don't follow, and they can actually lead to some severe crashes right here on the Suncoast. Reporting live in Sarasota, Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks, Marla. All this week, we're going to be profiling the top 5 busiest intersections. We'll have one each day for you, along with the latest on local traffic, road closures, and construction, all the traffic news you need, as well as breaking news and your up-to-the-minute first alert forecast. Just head over to our app. You can open it, and you can find it under WWSB or My Suncoast.
Now to a developing story in Russia. This is a live look at the crash site where right now investigators are combing through the wreckage of a Russian airliner. Again, this is a live picture for you. The plane had just taken off from the country's second busiest airport when it crashed, killing all 71 people on board. The pilots did not report any problems before the crash. One of the flight recorders has been recovered, but it's not clear yet if the data or voice recorder has been recovered as well.
Starting today, a company that makes OxyContin is making a big change. Purdue Pharma says it's cutting its sales force in half and will stop promoting OxyContin to doctors. Now, this move comes after Purdue and other drug makers face a string of lawsuits. Now, some of those suits accuse Purdue of downplaying the risks while overstating its benefits as a painkiller. According to the CDC, opioids were involved in more than 42,000 deaths in the U.S. in 2016. And the number of lawsuits continue to grow for disgraced Hollywood executive Harvey Weinstein. New York State is now suing Weinstein and the company. The New York Attorney General says a sexual harassment investigation found company employees were mistreated and exploited. That suit also claims the misconduct began in 2005 and lasted until October of 2017. Weinstein is currently denying any allegations of non-consensual sex.
One of President Trump's campaign promises was about better roads, bridges, better highways, and today he'll lay out his plans. ABC's John Lawrence has our preview.
Infrastructure was a big issue for presidential candidate Donald Trump.
We're like a third world nation. You look at our airports, our roads.
Our infrastructure is falling apart. I'm going to start swimming across rivers and lakes now. I don't want to drive.
And it was a point President Trump brought up during his State of the Union address last month.
I am asking both parties to come together to give us safe, fast, reliable, and modern infrastructure that our economy needs and our people deserve.
White House officials say Mr. Trump's plan has 4 main goals: reducing the permitting process from 10 to 2 years, funding for rural infrastructure, improving workforce for the boost in infrastructure, and
to produce a bill that generates at least $1.5 trillion for the new infrastructure investment that our country so desperately needs.
the administration says only $200 billion of that $1.5 trillion will come from direct federal spending. The remainder is expected to come from state and local governments. This weekend, in advance of the White House's announcement, House Democrats released their own proposal. That plan calls for making 5 times more federal funding available. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And the president rolls out his plans at 11 o'clock this morning in Washington.
Also today, the U.S. Senate plans to hold an open-ended debate on immigration and the fate of the dreamer immigrants. Perhaps the most influential voice in that conversation, though, has been President Trump. His opinions on the matter have at times kind of complicated that discussion as they go back and forth between the Democrats and the Republicans. Many today are urging the White House to limit his role in that debate.
Of course, Valentine's Day is this week, and customs agents are preparing to examine flowers coming across our borders. Yeah, federal customs agents say they are stepping up searches for banned flowers meant that are smuggled into the U.S. from Mexico. Agriculture specialists will be checking flowers, plants, seeds, and bulbs, which officials say are not allowed to enter the U.S. because of harmful pests and diseases they often harbor.
Well, red tide bloom and fish kills are being reported again here in Southwest Florida. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says samples were collected over the past week in 6 different counties, including Sarasota County. Now, a fish kill was reported in Monroe County just last Wednesday. And then 2 days before that, some slight respiratory irritations were being reported at Minnesota Beach.
Some beachgoers in Central Florida are finding dozens of stinging Portuguese man-o-war. Oh, like jellyfish. Oh. Man-o-war warnings have been posted, and the increase in sightings could be a result of changes in current patterns. Most people get stung when they try to pick up the man-o-war on land. Don't try that. I was stung by a stingray about 30 years ago. I still haven't forgotten that one.
Oh, no. My daughter got stung by a jellyfish on the beach. I think it was on St. Pete Beach. And still to this day, that's one of those things that make her so nervous about going in the water. You don't forget things like that.
Oh, I know. You got to do the stingray shuffle.
Yes, the stingray shuffle.
Right.
Yes.
Still ahead, first alert, traffic and weather, and how one man bounced back from adversity. We're going to talk to a former pro basketball player who now here lives in the Suncoast. He'll tell us how we can eat adversity.
That's right. He's here in studio, and he's going to be sharing his story when we come back.
But first, a live picture of downtown Sarasota, Maine in orange. A pretty piece of art there in the roundabout. Much more news and that live interview next on Good Morning Suncoast.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring,
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
This holiday season, show a little imagination. For her, how about a visit to the spa or an evening at a fine restaurant? For him, it could be a round of golf on a world-class course or gear from the pro shop. You'll find these gifts and more at rtjgolf.com/gift cards. RTJ gift cards and resort cards are easy to wrap and never go out of style. Whether it's a good drive, a great steak, or relaxation at the spa, find it at rtjgolf.com/gift cards.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Gotta love viewer pictures. When I saw this one when I got in this morning, I went, what? Apparently it's a moth. It was sent in to us by an anonymous viewer asking, what is it? If you happen to know, and I think we already have an answer on my Facebook page, John Scalzi ABC7, we already have a viewer response who thinks they know what that is. If you want to weigh in, go into that Facebook page and put your idea on there, and I think we'll announce it here pretty soon. That's a really incredible shot. Kind of freaky too, right? It's like it's staring right back at you. Anyway, it's apparently a very common moth. I've never seen one. 68 degrees, the air temperature, dew point value the same. 68 temperature match, dew point match, 100% relative humidity. Feels kind of sticky out there. It feels almost spring-like, really, to tell you the truth. I mean, this temperature, you add on 3 degrees, that would be our normal daytime high temperature. We'll hit that by probably 9 o'clock this morning, 72 by around 9. Mix of sun and fair weather clouds as we head into the afternoon. We'll work in a slight chance at a shower, but not much of one. By the time we hit 3, 83 with a 10% chance of an inland shower, mostly Hardee, DeSoto counties, inland Charlotte. 73 as we get into about 7 o'clock at night under fair skies. Sky conditions now are pretty quiet. We don't have much in the way of any kind of inclement weather out there. There's certainly no fog. There's no rain. Everything looks pretty good. A little bit of fair weather cloudiness. That's about it. Winds coming up out of the south, really drawing in that moisture, making it feel just a little bit humid out there. As we head into the probably lunchtime hours, we'll see temperatures cracking the 80-degree mark at that point. And in most locations, they'll probably hit mid-80s by the time we get into the afternoon, inland anyway. About a 10%, as I mentioned, chance of a shower later in the afternoon into the evening hours, but nothing very heavy. Maybe a slightest little chance at an isolated thunderstorm, but that's really not a very big chance. We'll have across our region right now quiet conditions, and that'll be the case throughout the day, despite the fact that we have some pretty good showery activity stretching from the New England coastline all the way through the mid-Atlantic back into the deep south and exiting into the northern Gulf Coast. That stays put. Doesn't come our way. It remains a focal point for shower and thunderstorm activity throughout the afternoon, though. And as I mentioned, not really a severe chance, just a stalled frontal boundary. That frontal boundary actually will start to decay in basically the same place Maybe by midweek we'll get a little bit of some drier air working its way in as we get kind of a backdoor cold front from that system, but it's not going to be a big deal. Warm and humid, isolated sprinkle, and then partly sunny skies. Forecast looks like this for today. Southwest wind comes in at about 5 to 10. That switches to the west during the overnight at about 10, bringing us light chop with 2-foot seas. Nice day to be out there on the waters, I think. Forecast looking like this for today. Daytime high tops out mild at around 83 degrees. 10% chance of showers. And then on Tuesday, 84 degrees. And on Valentine's Day, of course, looks pretty good for us. I don't think we'll have much in the way of any kind of problems here. Our daytime high, 81. By the time we get to Valentine's Day, around dinner time, should be nice with a temperature coming in at around 72 by 7 p.m. under partly cloudy skies and a very mild evening as well. So the forecast for the remainder of the week ahead looks warm, well above average. If you want to know how warm it's going to be for the entire rest of the month, I've posted that on my website. John Scalzi, ABC 7 shows the extended range forecast by the Climate Prediction Center, and I'll tell you what, even through April, they are projecting above average temperatures. That graph available. Taking a look at our current temperatures for the rest of the week, again, 80s will be a dominant feature. Back to you.
All right, we are loving that forecast. Thank you so much, John Scalzi. It is 6:16. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic out there. Starting to see some build up a little bit if you're coming into Sarasota from the Palmetto, Ellenton area, right around the Bradenton area. Your usual congestion in the morning, especially right there on 301 as well, and 684. If you're heading into North Sarasota, you have some build up that's already happening at University Parkway, that typical morning congestion. Also, Fruitville Road and Bee Ridge Road starting to get a little busier too. If you're heading into South County, though, those roads are still looking pretty clear out there this morning. Again, that is 617, and that is your first alert traffic.
Well, we are joined now by Gerard Ward, who is the top high school student basketball player out of Mississippi, went on to Michigan, and then suffered a series of knee injuries, 7 to be exact. So who better to talk about battling adversity? Gerard, nice to have you here this morning.
Pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. Set your alarm early for us.
I did. Outstanding. I mean, I'm usually up working out.
Are you?
Every day. I mean, that's the normal.
I can tell. Good idea. We've got some video of you playing for Michigan. You were there during the Fab 5 era back in the 1990s. Watch Gerard follow up here. Look at this. This is what they teach you in basketball camps. You followed the play and jammed it home. We'll show it again and show you on the bench as well. So you were the top high school player out of Mississippi, nationwide. Came from Mississippi. Watch this. I can't watch this enough. Here it is. Thank you very much. Way to follow the play.
Just a fabulous play. Not giving up on the play. That's something we talk about every day in life. Not to give up no matter what you're faced with. Always push through.
So now you are talking about adversity. You had 7 knee surgeries. You were drafted by the Toronto Raptors. Wound up playing some European basketball for several years, many years, right? 14
years professionally. Had an outstanding career. I loved every minute of it. And if I had to do it all over again, I'll do the exact same.
Yeah, well, now you've got a motivational talk tomorrow night in Bradenton, but you've got some tips to share with our viewers this morning. It's all about eat adversity. What's that all about?
Absolutely. I mean, you have a happy dose of adversity every single day, and how I want to look at it is just eating it. Eat away with it. You want to embrace your adversity. You want to make sure you welcome it, adversity, and think of it as an opportunity. Then you want to act. It's the willingness to commit to change, and then you want to thrive. You start to learn, you start to grow, and things start to develop for you.
You know, they say adversity can build character, or adversity can reveal character, but either way, it's part of our lives, no matter how hard we try to avoid it.
From day one, you're into this world. We're faced with different adversities, different challenges, and it's all about how you look at it. And I like to look at it in a positive versus a negative.
Attaboy. Well, tomorrow night, you've got a big speech in Manatee County. I think we've got some information to share with you now on the screen. Where are you speaking tomorrow evening?
I'm speaking at the Manatee Performance Arts Center. It's at 5:30, and I welcome everyone to come out if you want to be inspired. It's going to be a fabulous time.
Good. Well, tickets are still available.
Tickets are still available.
All right. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it. Gerard Ward, the speech is tomorrow night in Manatee County. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a gut-wrenching international custody battle.
That's right, a little boy who never returned home. We're going to have that story for you right after this.
But first, a peek at Main Street in downtown Sarasota. Pretty shot there, one car heading westbound. We'll have more traffic and weather on the way at 6:20. And you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if your loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt will leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you too.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Welcome back. 6:23 right now. Pretty shot there of the Rosemary District. Should be a beautiful day here.
Yeah, in the 80s. We are loving that. Well, a huge setback for Puerto Rico this morning in its efforts to fully restore power more than 5 months after Hurricane Maria. Now, an explosion and resulting fire at a power substation caused a blackout in parts of northern Puerto Rico late on Sunday afternoon. Now, no one was hurt in that. San Juan Mayor Yulin Cruz tweeted that it appears fire has almost totally been extinguished and that the cooling phase is beginning. About 400 megawatts of power generation were lost in that case. And millions of people on the island remain without power, and clean water is still unavailable in some areas.
But despite the hardships, progress is being made. ABC's Linda Lopez recently went to the area with her sister Jennifer Lopez and her boyfriend Alex Rodriguez. Watch this.
In his State of the Union address, President Trump said to Puerto Rico and other hurricane-ravaged areas,
"We are with you, we love you, and we always will pull through together."
Yet that same day, it was reported FEMA would cut off emergency food and water aid to the island. FEMA quickly backtracked after an outcry from the Puerto Rican government. When we were there, nearly 4 months after Hurricane Maria,
we could see traffic lights here blown by the hurricane and still not working properly. Power lines down. Some of the signs that the people who are living without electricity, without power, without some of the basic necessities are probably still not going to see them for a while.
Roughly a third of the island's residents are still without electricity. Almost 500,000 people. Blue tarps still covering thousands of homes. And Congress's newly passed disaster aid package isn't dedicated to just Puerto Rico. It's one pool to be shared by all disaster-hit areas.
Imagine when we're going to go and battle Texas, who has a big delegation, Florida has a big delegation, California as well.
The good news for the island, the many A-list stars passionate about bringing much-needed resources. Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda partnering with the Hispanic Federation, raising millions in humanitarian aid. And on a trip with my sister, Jennifer Lopez, she and Alex Rodriguez announced a $2.5 million donation from their October fundraiser, going exclusively to Puerto Rico's health centers.
Hello.
We visited one maternal health center that midwives there say was on the verge of closing.
The Hispanic Federation gave us a really amazing donation, and then we received the news that Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez are going to fund us, and that has been really amazing.
One midwife still living without electricity, bringing us to her home at night. Not sure when the lights will be back.
In the beginning, they were saying January.
Right.
Then now it's March. And then other people say May.
Meanwhile, she and 500,000 others remain powerless. Linda Lopez, ABC News, New York.
And just a reminder, there are plenty of nonprofit organizations out there that are still taking donations and help for Puerto Rico. You can find those online. You can find them on our Facebook pages, our Twitter. You can also find them on our new Instagram page that takes you behind the scenes right here on ABC 7. You can also see our great Circus Sarasota shots from this weekend on both of our Facebook pages as well. Those were good time over this weekend.
We'll show more of those ringmaster things next half hour. That was great.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Well, an 8-year-old boy is at the center of a nightmare international custody battle.
His father is doing all he can to get him back to Texas. ABC's Kenya Whitworth has his story.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the 8-year-old boy at the center of a gut-wrenching international tug-of-war could be one step closer to returning to the United States. Christopher Brand says he gave his ex-wife, Marcely Guimarães, permission to travel to her native Brazil, but they never returned. But this morning, the FBI says they have evidence Marcely, along with her parents, Carlos and Jimena Guimarães, conspired to kidnap Nico. Days ago, federal agents arresting Nico's grandparents in Miami when they attempted to enter the country. An attorney for Marcely Guimarães tells ABC News it's absurd for the United States to arrest her client's parents, adding international law gives Brazil the right to decide where the child lives. And coming up at 7 a.m., Michael Strahan will talk live with the father of the center at this story, Chris Brand. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kenya Whitworth, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Having moderate to severe plaque psoriasis is not always easy. It's a long-distance run, and you have the determination to keep going. Humira has a proven track record of being prescribed for over 10 years. Humira works inside the body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults taking Humira were clear or almost clear, and many saw 75% and even 90% clearance in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Join over 250,000 people who have chosen Humira. Ask about the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists. Humira and go.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC 7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like. Then click Following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing Notifications. Choose Breaking News, Posts, Live Videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, special election day is tomorrow. We've got everything you need to know to be prepared.
This week, we're counting down the top 5 dangerous intersections on the Suncoast, and we're starting right here at University Parkway and north of Lockwood Ridge Road. We're telling you this morning some problems that drivers are doing, and it's contributing to crashes. What they are straight ahead.
And some Sarasota County schools will offer free flu shots to students. Those stories and much more next on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
Good morning to you. It is 6:31 on this Monday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. February 12th. Hope you had a nice weekend. I know you do. You were at the circus on Saturday.
That's right. Circus Sarasota was on Saturday. Amazing. You were there on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Honorary ringmasters. But we had a difference, though, because I got pulled down later unexpectedly in the middle of the show to do a little air dancing, playing my horn.
That was embarrassing.
It was a little embarrassing. I'm terrified of crowds. People don't know that. They think if you do this job that you're
Are you really?
I'm super scared of crowds.
Oh, interesting.
So it was really terrifying, but also fun at the same time.
It was a great, hats off to Pedro and Dolly, the co-founders of Circus Sarasota. The show runs till March 4th. Pictures later in this half hour. First, the star of the show, our own ringmaster, John Scalzi.
I fully expected clown noses this morning.
That's right.
Fully expected it. So we're looking at some very quiet, calm conditions outside right now. Should be beautiful. 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess today. Looks absolutely great. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s to low 80s for the kids. We're looking for 72 degrees by 9 o'clock this morning. 12 noon, lunchtime, 77. No problems whatsoever. We'll continue to see fair weather right straight through the afternoon for most of us. About a 10% chance of an isolated shower, maybe a thunderstorm in inland Hardee and DeSoto counties. I don't think we're going to see much otherwise. Daytime high tops out well above average, coming in the lower 80s. Our normal for this time of year in the lower 70s, so about 10 degrees above the norm. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Checking first alert traffic right now. You'll see in Manatee County some issues on 301 in both directions, otherwise not too bad. Special shout out to Marie and Greg watching us today from Michigan. Also University Parkway westbound, you'll see there a little issue there at Honore. And South County map will show us right now nothing much to speak of except a little blip there on US 41 down there by Nokomis.
All right, all this week on Good Morning Suncoast, we are looking at the busiest intersections that slow you down on your morning commute.
One of the worst spots is at University Parkway and Lockwood Ridge Road. That's where we find our Marla Spence, who joins us now with a special report. Marla?
Thanks, Ray and Stephanie. So far, you morning commuters have learned that more than 1,800 severe crashes has happened in this intersection, and it's all according to recent data collected by the Sarasota Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization. Road officials say many of those crashes are due to not using simple roadway practices, and officials believe it's causing many accidents on the Suncoast. Now, those practices, believe it or not, are as simple as being courteous to other drivers, and these practices include using your indicators and signaling several hundred feet before turning or changing lanes. Secondly, allowing people to get over into your lane if they need to, and this will allow those lanes not to get congested by one driver trying to get over. Being courteous in that regard can also avoid fender benders. Also, don't block intersection. And one last thing, think about where you're going before you head out your front door this morning.
Try to plan your trip so that you're not going during the most congested time of the day. So people need to slow down, take your time, think about where you're going.
Well, so far we've told you what you need to know about the 5th dangerous intersection on the Suncoast. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning with the 4th dangerous intersection on the Suncoast. Believe it or not, it is 8 miles away from this current intersection, and we'll be bringing you all the latest information on your morning commute starting tomorrow morning. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Marla. And for all the latest on local traffic, plus all those intersections that we're going to be talking about this week, as well as road closures and new construction projects, you can find it. Just open up our app. You can find it in the App Store to download under WWSB or under My Suncoast.
Well, after a week of early voting, special election voting day is tomorrow in District 72 in Sarasota County.
That is right. Nearly 80% of eligible voters in State House District 72 have yet to cast their ballots. The 3 candidates hoping to win the seat appeared together one last time for a panel at Senior Life Campus Aviva yesterday. Now, the candidates talked about all kinds of topics, including education, the environment, Social Security, and Medicaid, which was a top concern among that crowd.
I think we need to focus more on the actual issue of why healthcare is increasing. Why is it so expensive?
Our families, our veterans, our seniors deserve good healthcare solutions.
If we passed Medicaid expansion, almost 1 million people would have the healthcare that they need.
Supervisor of Elections Office and 30 other polling locations will be open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And before you head out to cast your ballot, make sure to tune in right here to Good Morning Suncoast tomorrow. The Supervisor of Elections, Ron Turner, he's actually going to be here in studio, and he's going to give everyone some helpful information, some last-minute tips, and answer any other questions about that special election.
The candidates have since had several debates, but they had their first right here on ABC 7 2 weeks ago. We're going to re-air the debate of the 3 candidates tomorrow right here on ABC 7. Today in Tallahassee, an Orlando senator will present a bill to save kids in hot cars. Senator Linda Stewart is backing the Child Safety Alarm Act. It was created following the tragic death of a 3-year-old boy last summer. Miles Hill was left unattended in a hot daycare van and was discovered dead some 12 hours later. So Stewart's bill would require daycare centers that transport children to equip their vehicles with safety alarm systems by next year. These systems would alert drivers to inspect their vehicles for any children who may have been left behind.
All right, heads up parents, Sarasota County Schools will be offering free flu shots to students today and tomorrow. The shots will be available at Booker Middle School, Cranberry Elementary, and the Sky Academy in Venice from 3:30 until 6 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow the vaccines will be available at Tuttle Elementary, Laurel Nokomis School, and Northport High School from 3:30 until 6 o'clock. Now, if you aren't a student but you would like to get a flu shot for free, they are available every day of the week at Health Department in Sarasota and also in Northport. It is never too late to get your flu shot this season.
Other health news, some hospitals are testing out new technology to prevent patients from catching infections. Hospitals nationwide have been experiencing a significant increase in hospital-acquired infections. So to combat the problem, Washington Regional Medical Center now has 2 germ-zapping robots. Now, when an infected patient leaves the hospital, the robots do what's called a terminal clean. Hospitals that use these robots have seen a 50% decrease in infections. Great idea.
I do. I like all the ways that this is going to. As many things that we can possibly do to kill the infections, get rid of this flu. This is one of the worst flu seasons, so I'll take everything. Just throw all of it at this flu and all the other bugs that are out there.
Onward and upward, indeed.
Louise. All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. We have the latest for you in your first alert traffic. And a dad takes things into his own hands to help out his daughter's medical condition.
A simple concept with a life-changing goal when we come back. But first, here's a peek outside at the downtown Sarasota area. Beautiful shot there of the roundabout at Main and Orange. That artwork was installed just a few years ago. There was a traffic light when I first moved here 15 years ago.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous out there this morning. Going to be into the 80s. A great forecast. We'll have that later for the show as well. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC 7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a car and driver's 10 best. All on sale for up to $38.05 less than the competition at your local Honda dealer.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
68-degree air temperature, dew point the same at 68. That brings us to 100% relative humidity. East-southeast wind coming in at about 7 with a mix of stars and fair weather skies. Becky in Olmayaca reports 62 degrees at her location under starry sky. Says it's a beautiful night. I would agree. By 9 a.m. we'll look for a temperature of about 72 degrees. By lunchtime, 77. Fair weather skies out there. Nothing in the way of rain showers. Maybe later in the afternoon we'll have an isolated shower or maybe an isolated thunderstorm in well inland areas. I don't think we'll see much along the coastline though. Put the rain chance at about 10%. 83 degrees at that point, well above the average for this time of year. Coming in probably about 10 degrees above average. And then as we head into the 7 p.m. hour, we'll taper off our temperatures back into the 70s. Our future cast shows by 9 o'clock, fair skies, 70s across the entire area. By the time we get into lunch, though, we've cracked the 80 mark most everywhere. And as I mentioned, maybe a few inland showers. Rain chance small today at about 10%. Possibly an isolated thunderstorm in well inland areas, but it's not going to be a big deal. Radar quiet right now. We're looking at probably pretty quiet conditions most of the day. We do have some showers in progress, so a long line of showers stretching from the northeast all the way down the mid-Atlantic coast through the deep south and into the open waters of the North Gulf waters. That's all part of a frontal boundary that's just stalled out, not moving anywhere. Could produce some stronger storms, though, in parts of North Florida around the Jacksonville area. If you're flying to Jacksonville this afternoon, there could be some issues there. But otherwise, our airport hubs, Atlanta, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, all look pretty good for us. This boundary is pretty much stationary, really not going anywhere. Over the course of the next several days, it kind of just starts to fall apart. We may see it kind of try to work its way back as a backdoor cold front on Wednesday, but even if it does that, it's really not going to do much in the way of bringing us any weather. And the humid air will probably stay with us. Temperatures will remain above average, even if we can knock them back a degree or two with a little bit of a wind shift. But I really don't see any colder air in the forecast. Warm and humid, isolated sprinkles, partly sunny skies. Here's the thunderstorm forecast from the Severe Storms Prediction Center. And yes, they do put us in the tail end of the probabilities of a thunderstorm. But again, it's a very small chance. And even if we did get a thunderstorm, I think it would be mainly confined to inland areas. So don't look for much today if you're along the coastline. Southwest wind at about 5 to 10, becoming more westerly tonight at about 10. We'll look for light chop and 2-foot seas. Nice day, actually, to be out on the waters, I would say. We're looking for 83 as a high today. Tomorrow, about the same, 84, maybe a degree warmer. And then as we head into Valentine's Day, looks like it'll be nice. Maybe a little bit cooler, a little bit, perhaps a little less humid. Evening temperatures will be about 72 or so. We'll look for 80 degrees on Thursday, and then really the rest of the week stays well above average with temperatures still in the upper 70s. Average temperature will be about 73. As I mentioned earlier, I put the extended range forecast from the Climate Prediction Center right through April on our weather page at mysuncoast.com. Check that out. It'll be there for you. We're looking at temperatures in the nights in the mid to lower 60s. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at your traffic out there. 647. First alert traffic. There is so much red on that map now. If you're headed into Bradenton from Palmetto and Ellington, you're going to run into those normal morning busy bridges. You've got some construction then going on there on 64 that's slowing things down a little bit, as well as some slowdowns on northbound and southbound 301. Those are both in Manatee County. And then in North Sarasota, you've got your typical slowdowns there. University Parkway out by where Marla is this morning, as well as Bee Ridge Road if you're coming off of 75. There's some slowdowns there as well. And then in South Sarasota, those roads are still looking pretty good out there this morning. You've got a little bit of a slowdown coming off 75 on 681. Other than that, your roads are looking pretty smooth out there. 647, that's your first alert traffic.
And now to a developing story right now. The London City Airport says all flights in and out have been canceled today after an unexploded World War II era bomb was found nearby in the River Thames. Police have evacuated the London City Airport. This is not Heathrow. It's a smaller airport called the London City Airport. Officers are working with specialists from the Royal Navy to remove that device.
And in this hour's Health Smart, a rare genetic disease that has taken a little girl's hearing. In a few years, it will also take her eyesight. Now her father is inventing a toy to help her adjust to her new world. Emily Reimer shows us how it works.
Rebecca LaCourse knows exactly how this toy works. Wearing her cochlear implant so she can hear, this 2-year-old toddler is ready to make some noise. The Beck Dot is her dad's invention.
You can take a toy and place it on the reader, and then it'll make a noise.
So it just G-O-A-T just popped up.
A simple concept with a serious goal. The Beck Dot offers an early introduction to Braille, which helps the visually impaired read using raised dots.
Not trying to teach her how to spell the word goat right now or anything. It's just to give her that idea.
Jake got the idea for the Beck Dot after Rebecca was diagnosed as a newborn with the most aggressive form of Usher syndrome. It's a rare genetic condition that severely affects vision, hearing, and balance.
I can't even explain how devastated I felt.
Born completely deaf, Rebecca could be blind too by the time she's a teenager. She already has trouble seeing at night, and her field of view is starting to narrow.
We still feel like we have to get her to see different things in different places before we run out of time.
Right now, there's no cure for Usher syndrome, so Jake and Beth stay focused on making Rebecca's life better.
We see the challenges that she faces every day and just navigating in her own environment, and those are all problems that I just see solutions for.
The Beck Dot is still in the development stage. Jake hopes to keep the cost low so that it's affordable to families around the world.
I think that's our way of dealing with it, is keeping busy and trying to help other people along the way.
A great story in there too. I love that a dad gets involved. Who better to know like how it all works than somebody that's dealing with that very same issue.
Right there. All right, 10 to 7 now. Up next, we'll update the day's top local news headlines and show off our fun weekend at the circus. We were so lucky to be taken behind the scenes.
That's right. Circus Sarasota was amazing. We saw this guy who's he was the Wild West act, AJ Silver. Very cool. I like that. We had the chance to be honorary ringmasters. We'll show you all the pictures after that as well. Those are pretty sweet too.
But first, some live video for you now. This is downtown Sarasota, Main Street at Main and Orange as the day is breaking and traffic is beginning to pick up around that relatively new roundabout. And another live shot for you at University Parkway and Lockwood Ridge, one of the busiest intersections on the Suncoast.
That's right. We're breaking down the top 5 for you. The top 5 busiest intersections in the entire area. Marla's going to be having those one every day this week. We'll tell you what can we do to make them run a little smoother in the mornings as well. We'll have that and so much more for you all throughout the week. Thanks for waking up for us. Good morning, Suncoast, right here on ABC 7.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the 2 newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you today on the Suncoast.
Election Day is tomorrow for a state house race in District 72. This is a special election to replace Alex Miller, who resigned a few months into her first term last summer. The winner will serve just the rest of this year. We'll talk to the elections supervisor tomorrow here on Good Morning Suncoast Live. And Sarasota County Schools will offer free flu shots to students today and tomorrow. The shots will be available after school at 3 locations only, at Booker Middle, Cranberry Elementary, and the Sky Academy in Venice from 3:30 until 6 o'clock tonight.
So we're looking at some pretty nice weather across the region. Daytime highs will top out well above average at around 83. We'll continue to see that trend over the next several days. Put about 3 beach balls out, 4 for your sunset walk this evening, just because of cloud cover. You know, we couldn't even get on to Siesta Key Beach last night.
Crowded, yeah.
Went out there, had to turn around and come home.
Boy, we had some fun yesterday.
We did. We were honorary ringmasters at Circus Sarasota. Very cool. This is one of the many acts you're going to get to see. 250 years they're celebrating of the modern circus.
Yeah.
You can catch it through March 4th.
Thank you to Pedro and Dolly. There is Stephanie as ringmaster. I had a chance to be ringmaster as well. Thanks to Cliff Rolls for taking the picture of me out there in my shorts. It was hot in there.
It was really warm, but they did have a good circulation. It wasn't as warm as like you would think it in there.
Live shot here from downtown Sarasota, Maine, and Orange. Get off to a good week, folks. Thanks for starting it here with Good Morning Suncoast.